The following is a presentation of the PAC Sports Network.
Your ball game. The St. Vincent Bearcats do it back to back. In Grove City, Pennsylvania, from the Grove City College Arena, I'm Randy Gore along with Rob Longo on the PAC Sports Network. Men's basketball, our PAC Game of the Week, the Grove City Wolverines hosting the Westminster Titans. Glad to have you along on the network today. Grove City 5-6 overall, 1-2 in PAC play. Westminster 3-8 overall, 0-2 in the conference. But as we noted during our women's broadcast, this is one of the best rivalries you'll find in the President's Athletic Conference. In typically tight ball games. And we're hoping for yet another one here tonight. Westminster leads the all-time series 79-54. These teams first met way back during the 1901-1902 season. So a series that's over 100 years old and a lot of fun. And we're hoping to have some fun here tonight, Rob.
Well, we had a pretty decent game, the first one in the women's between Grove City and Westminster. I'm sure the men won't be any different. Both teams, have struggled a little bit in the opening so far. The first couple games of conference play, Grove City 1-2, Westminster 0-2. A lot of these teams are out to prove a lot of people wrong. Grove City was projected to finish 7th in the preseason coaches poll, and then Westminster was supposed to finish dead last according to the media in the coaches poll prior to the season. But it's a couple of programs that, began rebuilding a little bit, especially with this Westminster team. A lot of young faces, only one upperclassman though really scheduled to start here for Westminster. We'll get into that a little bit later. But again, it's almost a rebuilding year. Give Westminster maybe 1 or 2 years, and it'll be a fantastic program. Now, going through the up and downs and struggling, but a lot of good players, a lot of good talent for this Westminster team, and the same that you could say for Grove City. A couple of players, especially, Mitch Marmelstein, chasing some all-time records at Grove City as well this season as we speak.
Yeah, Mitch Marmelstein, who we'll speak with during our halftime show. He, along with Grove City head coach Steve Lammy. Mitch Marmelstein has been an outstanding athlete, was a starter from his freshman year on with the Wolverines, and he has Grove City poised for big things in the second half of this 2014-2015 season, as he's already surpassed the 1,000-point mark, Mitch Marmelstein, and has the opportunity, really, if he can stay healthy this season, to finish in the top 5 amongst all-time scorers on this Grove City all-time list. And that really says a lot when you think back of the history of this Grove City basketball program, to be included, again, potentially he could finish in the top 5, to be included in the upper echelon of scorers. That's outstanding.
Well, currently Marmelstein's 15th, 1,154 points to his credit so far this year, career-wise, I should say, up until this point. But he just got his, keep this in mind, he's at 1154. He just got his 1,000th point the opening game of the season. So it just took him that long. He's already over 200 points on the season, really, when you round it up. But he has the chance to do some damage tonight. He only needs 9 to get 14th place, 11 to get 13th, 18 to get 12th, and then it goes to, 28, 39, those bigger numbers. So, with his average, the way it's been, 15 and a half per game, he goes a little bit above and beyond his average. He can make a lot of progress getting towards that top 5 tonight.
And for the Westminster Titans, a lot of new names and new faces for Westminster this season, all part of that rebuilding process that you were talking about, Rob, for Coach Kevin Soroki and the Titans. And one newcomer, perhaps the freshest face, if you will, is freshman Brandon Dominic, a transfer from Gannon University. He's playing in just his 4th game tonight with the Westminster Titans and will be making his 2nd start. Dominic out of the Newcastle Red Hurricanes high school program, and if you follow high school basketball in Western Pennsylvania, then you know all about the Newcastle Red Hurricanes. And Brandon Dominic was the point guard for that group and was at Gannon, and now has transferred over to Westminster, and that's a great addition to this Westminster team because he's an outstanding point guard, and he'll be dishing out the assists to what already is a team that has pretty good size. You look at some of the bigs for Westminster, guys like Dante Scott, who's amongst the league leaders in rebounds and scoring in points per game. You add his ability to some of the bigs like Deontay Scott, and there is a bright future for Westminster.
I'm really excited to see Deontay Scott play. 6'4", a freshman, averaging almost 14 points a game. He'll get to start tonight. He's shooting almost 61% from the floor, just astounding. He's only played in a handful of games, but man, oh man, talk about a freshman phenom. And then you go back to Dominic. Keep this in mind. From a program, the Newcastle Red Hurricane, a Quad A school, played Lincoln Park, which is which was a Class A school, now moved up to Double A this season. But only one loss for Lincoln Park last year came in the C.J. Betters Holiday Tournament against Newcastle. And that team that Lincoln Park had Maverick Rowan, who's now in a prep school in Florida. You also had a couple of players who are now playing and getting playing time as true freshmen at a program at Robert Morris. So just keep that in mind. Dominic, and that team, made it far into state playoffs last year as well. So he doesn't really need that collegiate experience because he got that in high school, if you think about it.
Yeah, more or less. Newcastle last year actually going undefeated, winning the state championship. Dominic, a member of the Red Hurricanes group that went deep into the state playoffs 2 years ago to the state semifinals, and so he certainly has big school experience from the high school level, and he brings that now to the Division III Westminster Titans. And again, he is a transfer from Division II Gannon University. And Dominic, with the addition of some of those other freshmen that we spoke of. Also, Jarrett Vrabel, another big freshman, 6'6" freshman for the Westminster Titans. He averages 7.5 rebounds per game, but also has a pretty nice jump shot, and he averages 9 points per game overall. Well, let's give you the starting lineups for both teams, and today's starting lineups are brought to you by Sport Clips. We'll start with the visiting Westminster Titans, led by head coach Kevin Soroki in his 3rd year. Number 5, 6'4" junior Charlie Wallander. Number 11, 5'9" freshman Brandon Dominic. Number 14, 6'3" sophomore Cameron Posguy. Number 32, 6'3" junior Paul Carswell. And number 42, 6'4" freshman Deontay Scott. Again, for the Titans, it's Wallander, Dominic, Posguy, Carswell, and Scott. For the Grove City Wolverines, led by 17th year head coach Steve Lammy. Number 10, 5'8" senior J.T. Schwartz. Number 22, 6' senior Mitch Marmelstein. Number 33, 6'4" junior Caleb Knudsen. Number 40, 6'6" sophomore Tyler McGrath. And number 50, 6'5" freshman Corey Huff. Again, for the Wolverines, it's Schwartz, Marmelstein, Knudsen, McGrath, and Huff. And Grove City, a couple of transfers adding some height to the Wolverines lineup. Knudsen and McGrath, both coming from Division III Eastern University on the other side of the state in the Philadelphia area. Steve Lammy talking with us yesterday during my visit here to Grove City. He said that he was familiar with that Eastern PA area because that's where he's originally from, and he said that Grove City was recruiting Knudsen and McGrath, and both decided at the time to go to Eastern University, but now have transferred over here to Grove City. And we are underway on the PAC Sports Network, and Brandon Dominic with the basketball, passing it over toward the far sideline, and this rivalry game between Grove City and Westminster. In the early stages, jump shot by Posguy, no good, rebound out of bounds, and it will stay with Westminster.
Paul Carswell getting in some action there. A 6'3" junior. He's kind of the standout guy when you think about it for this Westminster team that's a really fresh team. He's that junior. Last year he was a PAC honorable mention, the only one returning to the lineup that was garnered by the PAC for Westminster.
Easily, Carswell is the team leader of this group. He's been a starter, a regular since his freshman year, and Carswell with the assist after the three-point hit by Cameron Posguy, and the visitors from Westminster on top early.
Posguy now 500 shooting beyond the arc this season, 7 for 14.
JT Schwartz, quick passing, and talking with Coach Lammy just moments before tip-off, he said ball movement would be key for his offense today. You could already see the quick ball movement, but Knudsen shot blocked underneath, but Schwartz with a steal on the back end defensively for Grove City. Bounce pass Schwartz to Knudsen, and the kiss off the window. Caleb Knudsen cuts it to a one-point game.
JT Schwartz with another steal. That's all he does. He broke the school record for steals earlier this season. That was 173rd of his career.
Schwartz out of Shaler High School. And he was also from an outstanding program in Shaler, especially during his senior year. The Shaler Titans going deep in the WPIAL and PIAA playoffs, so he knows a thing or two. We're talking about Brandon Dominic at Newcastle, but JT Schwartz knows a thing or two about big school basketball in the Western Pennsylvania area. And Schwartz with an early steal leading to a bucket. Also an assist for Schwartz out of that theft. But right now it's Westminster with the lead and with the basketball in the early stages. Posguy taking a look, bounce pass, partially deflected, but corralling it, Charlie Wallander. Wallander with the kind of laning shot, 15-footer, and sinks it, nothing but net, 5-2.
Wallander, 14 points a game. A great shot as the shot clock was winding down. Only 2 left on the clock. A great job to get it off and make the bucket rather than just try to hit some sort of iron to get the rebound and do that.
Hustling for the loose ball, Grove City with the timeouts. And we'll take a break as well. We'll be right back on the PAC Sports Network.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
5-2 here from the Grove City College Arena, favoring the Westminster Titans. Hustle play there by Tyler McGrath, diving for the loose ball. McGrath playing in just his second game. He was injured in the first scrimmage of the season for Grove City, and so finally back. And he was, as we talked about in the open, one of those transfers from Eastern. And he along with Knudsen, give this Grove City group a little bit more size than what it has in years past, which has Steve Lammy very excited. Schwartz with the leaner. Rebound Posguy. Wallander. Offensive foul, and that was a wild drive all the way through, and a pretty easy call there. Offensive charge on Charlie Wallander.
It's only 1 foul. It is early, keep in mind, but still, Wallander, he's between him and Carswell, those are the 2 scoring threats and the 2 leaders out on the court for Westminster. It's never too early to start thinking about foul trouble.
Oh, and there's a pass. Marmelstein wasn't expecting it, but he did accept it as he managed to corral it. And underneath, nice move by Corey Huff. Speaking of big freshmen, Grove City, the big freshman of their own, 6'5", Corey Huff.
The whole reason why that bucket happened was a great little drop pass from Caleb Knudsen. Just had to thread the needle there on the block.
Dominic puts up the tray. Off the mark, rebound Marmelstein. Marmelstein, who tied the single game record for Grove City with 6 3-pointers in a single game. Did it his freshman year against the Westminster Titans. We are here for it on the PAC Sports Network. And you knew from that moment on, Marmelstein was something special. And 1,000+ point score.
Hard to believe he's ended up here at Grove City, all the way from San Juan Capistrano, California.
Three-pointer, Marmelstein right on cue with the three.
44% from beyond the arc. That says it all, especially hitting 500 from the floor in total. Marmelstein, he's just such a pure shooter.
That's his 20th three-pointer of the year, and Marmelstein with the rebound. Bounce pass to Huff, right back to Marmelstein. A little pitch and catch between he and Huff. Huff, right-handed hook. He'll draw the foul. No bucket, but he'll shoot a pair. Charge the foul on Deontay Scott.
His first, team second. Corey Huff, shooting 2.
Corey Huff, out of Kersey, Pennsylvania, an Elk County Catholic.
Randy talked about, how he's in there, a big body, gets a lot of rebounds, had a game-high 7 rebounds against Mount Aloysius back on November 24th. He's also 3rd in the team in field goal percentage. That speaks volumes when you have Mitch Marmelstein that shoots an even 500.
And Huff drops in another. 4 points for Huff here in the early stages, and a 4-point lead for Grove City. 7-0 run for the Wolverines.
Not a bad way to start off the contest.
Not at all. Brandon Dominic trying to step around Schwartz. Finds Carswell for 3 right quarter. Missing, however. Rebound Wolverines. JT Schwartz able to spin around Dominic. That's going to be a matchup to watch all night long. Dominic and Schwartz. 2 of the quickest hands and feet that you'll find in the PAC. Marmelstein, left side low blocks, wants some help. See if he can create on his own. He will. Gets that one up and over Cameron Posgan.
Marmelstein with an early 5 points. A good job there backing down the defender. Almost a head fake when you think about it. He had his eyes looking like he was going to pass and then just flipped it with the right hook in for the easy 2.
Run extended to 9-0 now for Grove City. Wallander trying to break up that run. Cannot. Offensive rebound. Deontay Scott with the putback.
That'll be another interesting matchup. Corey Huff for Grove City, they like to rotate him in and out a little bit, but Deontay Scott, he's kind of the rock down low for Westminster, but he lets Schwartz get by there for the easy 2.
Streaking through the paint, JT Schwartz. And Schwartz has always been a great assist man and a great thief on the defensive end. It's averaging 8 points per game this year, which is quite a bit considering that his primary duty is setting up his teammates for open shots. So a little more scoring this year out of the senior, JT Schwartz.
I talked about how Westminster should be good in a couple years. Well, Grove City, it should be good as well. I mean, look at the size on this roster of all these freshmen getting playing time.
Brian Giesler for 3, no good. Skips off the far side of the rim from Giesler's shooting perspective.
We've got McSweeney, who's in there right now, controlling the middle of the paint for Grove City. He's 6'8". Look at that.
And there's a block. Oh, we have a foul.
McSweeney got him with the body after he got to some leather on the palm of the hand there for Grove City. But, oh, man, he's just a beast down low.
Scott McSweeney, one of those that, along with McGrath and Knudsen, has added very good size for this Grove City team here in 2014-2015. Carswell missing at the line.
Carswell, he's 74% foul shooter. A little uncharacteristic.
6'3" junior. His older brother Adam Carswell, a gregarious young man who also played here at Westminster. And we always enjoy talking with his brother Adam during our visits up to Westminster. Well, Giesler goes down awkwardly.
Must have tripped over the three-point line there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's so very good at shooting three-pointers, that might have crossed him up. But he got caught up in the floor somehow and turnover. Now the officials.
Getsy has to take off his long sleeve?
Yeah, Matt Getsy donning long sleeves, and that is not acceptable.
Well, He just wanted to get a little bit of an extra sweat in, that was all.
Well, it's cold out there tonight, so in a way I can't blame him. However, in the gymnasium,
it's a little warm here.
Yeah, it's nice and toasty here at the Grove City College Arena tonight, but it is single-digit temperatures outside tonight. Actually, I believe with the wind chill factor, it's negative degrees.
Felt like that getting out of the car to the arena.
Frigid temperatures outside, and if you didn't feel like traveling through the inclement weather conditions today, whether it be the chill or the snow, lake effect snow, we're glad to have you along on the PAC Sports Network. Jump shots by Jason Pilarski, 6'1" sophomore, cuts into the Grove City lead. Oh, almost out of bounds was Tam. Tam, who will handle some point guard duties along with JT Schwartz, both on the court at the same time at the moment. Coming open, Giesler for three. Giesler, nothing but net. You cannot leave Brian Giesler that wide open, as he'll bury the triple as he did right there.
Almost 43% from beyond the arc. The field goal shooting's a little down for Giesler this season at 38, but still he's able to average about 7.5, and here comes Schwartz with another steal.
Layup and the conversion. JT Schwartz doing JT Schwartz things. 4 points for the senior.
No joke. I mentioned that steal record there. He's still trying to swipe there all the way up near the timeline. Just tenacious defense.
Baseline move, throwing a wild shot up was Pilarski. Now Westminster on the offensive glass will have an opportunity as Tam called for the foul, the 5'11" junior. Deontay Scott at the stripe.
We'll see the big fella Corey Huff get back inserted into the lineup here after one free throw from Scott. Scott about 52% on the season from the charity stripe.
Missing on the first try.
Now we saw in the first game of the doubleheader, the Westminster women phenomenal at foul shooting. Here for the men, not so much. 0 for 3 so far.
Hitting on the second, so just as the statistic would say, 52% free throw shooting for Scott. He goes 1 for 2. 18-10 our score. And there's the quick passing here by the Wolverines. Ball movement underneath. Huff had the ball stripped away by Dominic. Able to get it back, though. Huff has the ball tipped out of bounds by one of the Titans. I believe that was Jarrett Vrabel.
It's hard to tell. Quadruple team down there on the baseline for Huff. He had nothing else to do other than just try to have a hit out of a Westminster player out of bounds to retain possession.
Quick inbounds pass and a quick jump shot rattles home. Joe Vermilia. Vrabel finds resistance. Back to Vrabel, right corner, three-pointer, spins out. Grove City, the defense, something that Steve Lammy had said they've been a little inconsistent on that end so far. I mean, that's really the staple for his team. Year in and year out is its defensive tenacity. And I think I would say this, the tenacity has returned tonight, that's for sure. Foul on Deontay Scott, his second, so that's big, Rob. You mentioned foul trouble and still very early in the game. Westminster only 3 fouls, but 2 to Scott. He'll check out.
So it'll have to be Cody Gander who comes in. Another one of those young guys, a sophomore. And Scott, that's a pretty big loss, you know, 6'4", but you bring in Gander, who's also 6'4".
Huff with the basketball. I'm sorry, Rob.
Always nice to substitute size with size.
And Huff with the miss. Rebound, Vrabel. Up ahead, Pilarski with the quick look off the pass. Just the catch and shoot off the window. 20-12. Under 11 minutes to play here in the first half. And a 15-footer no good by Vermilia. Westminster trying to inch back. Down by 10 at 20-10, not all that long ago, but after the bucket by Pilarski, trying to trim the deficit even more. Left side for three, Pilarski fouled, no bucket, but he'll shoot three. Joe Vermiglia charged for the foul.
Grove City foul number 20, Joe Vermiglia, his first, team third.
So you got Pilarski that goes to the line here for Westminster, who from the free throw line, you know, just hitting that even 66% on the season.
Connects on the first, misses on the second. He'll have one more. Remember, he was fouled on a three-point attempt. Pilarski with 5 points total so far today. Dominic checks out as Garrett Ashbaugh enters for Westminster for the first time. Second, or make that the third free throw is good. So 2 for 3 on that trip for Pilarski. Lead is 6 for Grove City. Knudsen pulls up, ball right back to Knudsen. And Knudsen, while he had size for Grove City, very good outside shooters. There's JT Schwartz with a fine baseline move. 22-14. Schwartz with 6. Vermiglia tight on the defensive end on Kyle Ritchie. Left side, Ashbaugh, a sophomore. Now it's Pilarski who's been busy in the first half. Looking for Gander. Gander juggles the ball away. Hampering him was Huff, but there's Pilarski with the clean steal in the bucket.
What a play from both ends. Pilarski, though, 8 points early on. Man, he kind of really came out of nowhere, really. He's only averaging, 2.5 a game. What a breakthrough performance tonight for him.
Big game so far. Pilarski almost with a steal there. Wild shot attempt by Vermiglia. Gander with the rebound, and he'll carefully dart a pass to Ashbaugh into the forecourt. It's Ritchie. He'll pull up, and Westminster will set up the offense. Glad to have you with us tonight on the PAC Sports Network. Our PAC Game of the Week. Three-pointer Pilarski missing. Vrabel taps the rebound out of bounds.
All kinds of subs from each side. Hard to keep track of them here. Marmelstein coming back in. We got Giesler coming back in. And one more.
Andrew Beckman.
Beckman, that's it. I think that's Beckman's first appearance tonight.
That is correct. The 6'6" freshman Andrew Beckman in for the first time this evening. Grove City, left to right across your computer screen, wearing the home whites with the red numerals and lettering. Navy blue road uniforms for Westminster. Three-point try by Giesler, no good. Went down hard after the shot attempt. Quickly up the floor after the rebound. Shot blocked by Marmelstein, and that's a clean block on the shot attempt by Kyle Ritchie.
Great play there by Marmelstein. We talked about it. He's just a gamer. He can do everything. He can shoot, pass, dribble, and even play a little bit of defense as well.
Inbounds pass to Kyle Ritchie. If you talk with Coach Steve Lammy, he'll tell you that he's had some great leaders, senior leaders, as you would imagine, over 17 years as head coach here at Grove City. And there's been some PAC championship teams over the years under his tutelage. And he has heralded Mitch Marmelstein as being one of the best people that he has ever coached, one of the best people and senior leaders, and that comes in high regard, that's for sure. Leaner by Knudsen, no good.
And you can just tell by the way he leads his team out on the floor with that.
And he certainly is a lead by example type of guy. And thereafter a whistle, he comes along to help Brian Giesler up to his feet. And foul is on Giesler.
His first, team 4.
I talked with Mitch yesterday, and when he was a freshman, a guy named Brett Matson was a senior leader for the Wolverines and a 1,000-point scorer. And he said he learned some things from Brett Matson that he uses now as a layup by Charlie Wallander. He has 4, and the lead is just 4 for Grove City. So Westminster is trailing by 10, now down by just 4.
That was great ball movement on that possession by Westminster, a lot of people could have taken a couple threes, but took the extra pass and gave up the shot.
Backdoor cut, JT Schwartz for the lay-in, and he's already met his average, 8 points per game. We talked about JT Schwartz becoming more of a scorer this season. We're getting a look at it here early on.
Doesn't have a lot of size either, only 5'8", but he plays like he's about 6'2", 6'3" out there. Just uses his speed and quickness to his advantage with those backdoor cuts to get easy buckets.
As coaches like to say, as we have a foul on Grove City, playing within himself. Not trying to do anything more than what JT Schwartz is capable of, but what JT Schwartz is capable of is plenty.
So Giesler whistled for the foul. That's his second, team 5th for Grove City with under 7 to play, with Wallander at the line.
Wallander hits, averages 14 points per game. A 71% free throw shooter is Charlie Wallander. Team leader in assists as well, although I'm sure that will change with the addition of Brandon Dominic.
Well, last year he led the team in rebounds, and he was also 3rd in scoring too, so kind of revitalizing that scoring role. And the rebounds, about the same there too.
Back iron on the second attempt. Rebound Knudsen. Knudsen, who averages 6.4 rebounds per game. The Grove City's lead 5 now. Marmelstein to Knudsen, back iron, and McGrath had his hands on the basketball and was bumped from behind by Paul Carswell for the foul.
It's only Carswell's first and the team 4th for Westminster.
5 team fouls on Grove City if you're keeping track at home. Quick inbounds pass to Knudsen. Pitch and catch between he and Schwartz. And looking for Marmelstein, who sneaks it underneath, bucket and one.
My goodness, what a play from Marmelstein, not only to make the bucket, but to draw the contact as well. But, that far underneath the hoop, you would assume that there would be contact coming as well.
Chance for the three-point play. Marmelstein eyes the bucket, bends the knees, and converts. Marmelstein with 8. So just like that, what was a 4-point lead, increased by the Wolverines in the blink of an eye, but Vrabel with the response for the Westminster Titans. Jarrett Vrabel.
Vrabel getting his first bucket. He's another big fella too, 6'6", only a freshman. 8.5 points a game.
Heading toward the 6-minute mark. Bounce pass toward Knudsen. A little bit off the mark. Tough pass. It was very low. Hard to handle for the big guy. Carswell in traffic, shot blocked. A rejection by Beckman. Vrabel with the miss. Carswell with the board. Carswell, offensive foul. Lowered the shoulder into Marmelstein.
Carswell's going to have to come out in about a span of 2 minutes. Picked up 2 fouls, one on the defense end, on the end, one from Marmelstein, now one on the offensive end. He's going to have to take a seat. That's pretty big there for Westminster. Averages about 6.5 a game, but that defensive presence and that size as well, being 6'3", plays a lot into how well that Westminster performs.
Now he's a spark plug for the Titans, and right now on the bench. Giveaway by Grove City, so Westminster ball. Dominic ready to check back into the game. He sits at the scorer's table with Westminster owning possession. Pilarski, foul away from the basketball. This will be on Knudsen. Knocked down Charlie Wallander. That's the first on Knudsen. 6th team foul on the Wolverines. There's also 6 on Westminster, so next foul for either team, unless it's an offensive foul, but next foul for either team would put the opponent at the line for a 1-and-1. Timeout. Grove City will take a break on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
27-21 Grove City over the Westminster Titans. The visitors with the basketball out of the Grove City timeout. In the first half, here on the PAC Sports Network, Brandon Dominic. Left quarter three, hitting it. Cameron Posguy, his second triple of the night.
Again, I mentioned that he was 6 of 13 coming into the night. How about 8 for 50% from beyond the arc? He should probably shoot more often, I would think.
Knudsen fakes the three, goes to Marmelstein, nothing but net. Unselfish play there. Knudsen could have taken that three. He was open enough for it, but he went to Marmelstein instead and reaps the benefits.
Well, Marmelstein was even more wide open, if you can believe that. And Mitch Marmelstein already with 11 as an offensive foul's whistled on Westminster.
Brandon Dominic with the foul. That's his first.
Westminster foul number 11, Brandon Dominic. His first.
A 6-point lead for Grove City. Tam, top of the key, angles right. McGrath, well, dribble left, trying to create some space. Tic-tac-toe work. Now tough right-handed hook off the window, no good. Rebound Vrabel. Dominic flips the ball for a jump shot. Deep three, back iron by Posguy. Now Marmelstein with momentum after the rebound, trying to take it all the way. But the offensive foul on Marmelstein, no bucket, and a great job on the back end by Cameron Posguy.
Well, talk about Marmelstein being a leader, but the problem with that is, that time, Mitch Marmelstein was a little bit overzealous, just trying to almost take on the world there. One on about 3 for Westminster. And it got the bucket, didn't count though because of the charge.
Dominic. Return pass from Vrabel to Dominic near the half-court stripe, trying to create some space on Tam. Jump shot, Pilarski. Backboard rebound to Grove City and Stephen Tam. Swing it around, left side three, Giesler no good, rebound Pilarski. Field has gone dry for a moment for both teams. Backdoor, a beautiful pass by Dominic as he finds Vrabel cutting.
We haven't heard a lot from Jared Vrabel either, but good job making himself open with that backdoor cut. Easy kiss off the glass for 2.
And also on the assist by Dominic, that's what he gives you. His court vision. And a steal. Ball jarred loose and then into the arms of Dominic. Up the floor, missed though by Wallander on the bunny.
Little too hard off the glass, the momentum carries him a little bit. Couldn't quite bring it home.
Stephen Tam. Passing it off to Huff. Back to Tam, inside Knudsen. Fakes a pass toward Marmelstein, tries to create some space. Fadeaway, Knudsen, no good. Rebound Vrabel. And Kevin Soroki of the Westminster Titans wants a timeout. 2:19 to play in the first half. 4-point game. We'll be back on the PAC Sports Network.
Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living is raising funds for renovation and new construction of the YWCA building on West Maiden Street in Washington. Triple is a membership organization of people with disabilities and their families, friends, and neighbors. Triple's vision is to embrace the Y's historic, uplifting character while creating a state-of-the-art, fully accessible community center. We are accepting various types of donations for the rehabilitation of the Y. Visit ywca.triple.com or call 724-223-5115 for more information.
I'm Erica Gunther, and I'm a nursing student here at Thomas More College. Everybody knows each other. You can't go 10 feet down the hallway without saying hi to probably 3 people that you know from either a classroom or a sport or from meeting from one of the clubs or organizations here on campus, because we have so many of them. They want to show you what college is going to be like. You're a student and you're going to behave like a professional in your environment, because that's what they're training you to be. Thomas More College is preparing me for success as a nurse.
On the PAC Sports Network, 4-point game, Grove City leading. And even when the game goes final, you can visit PACstream.net. Broadcasts, blog articles on the PAC Sports or on the PAC athletes, and player of the game interviews. Remember, you can also like the PAC Sports Network on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at PAC Sports. Kevin Soroki timeout. Westminster ball out of the TO. Almost giving it away, however. 3-point try left of the elbow, no good on the attempt by Nick Dixon. Offensive glass, though, for the Titans. And pass to Dominic, left quarter, but an offensive foul before that on Matt Getze.
Talked about earlier if, Marblestein chasing those records with the 1,000-point club. He's already in it. With the 11 points that he has right now, he now moves into 13th all-time at Grove City with 1,165 points.
So continues to climb the ladder on the all-time scoring list, Mitch Marblestein. Wolverines working the offensive set. Giesler around a screen from Schwartz. 3-point try rattles out. Dominic with the rebound. Looks up the court but doesn't have the numbers, so he'll jog into the forecourt this time. Around a screen from Gander. Finds wide open left wing. 3-pointer hit by Matt Getze. His 16th 3-pointer this season. The top shooter from beyond the arc for the Westminster Titans.
But more importantly, his first 3 points of the game, now a 30-29 contest.
Marblestein for the answer. No good. Rebound cutting through the lane. Put back. No good, but drawing the foul, Scott McSweety.
Westminster foul number 44, Cody Gander. His first.
A 1-point game after the 3-point connect by Matt Getze. So it was a 20-10 lead at its largest point for Grove City. Well, Westminster whittling the advantage down with 1:01 to play in the half. Free throw rattles out. We've talked about Westminster's recent transfer from Gannon University, Brandon Dominic, who played in high school at Newcastle High School, and Newcastle head coach Ralph Blundo here in attendance tonight. Ralph Blundo also has a tie to Westminster. He is a former standout athlete for the Westminster Titans. So there's your Westminster connection, and I'm sure he probably put in a good word with Coach Kevin Soroki about Brandon Dominic. There's a giveaway. Pass intended for Dominic, but Matt Getze with the errant pass. 44 seconds to go before halftime. 2-point lead here for Grove City.
Turnover isn't really the end of the world for Westminster either. With a little over 40 seconds to play, it still gives the Titans a 2-for-1.
Missed by Schwartz. Ball out of bounds off the hands of McSweeney. There's a 0.1 second difference between the game clock and shot clock, so essentially no difference. So Westminster can wait for the last shot if it prefers, and I'm sure they would. Dominic takes a look around, so a chance here to either tie or take the lead on the last shot of the half. Cody Gander in some space, dishes it off right wing, 3-pointer, back iron on the attempt by Ritchie, offensive glass, and Giesler able to get the ball for Grove City. He had more time than he realized there. He rushed that shot, could have made it up the court. A couple of more steps for maybe a better try, but again, still would have been a hard shot to make even so.
Marblestein kind of turned around, looked down and said, "What was that?" And Giesler just goes, "Yeah, I didn't know how much time there was. I just threw up a prayer."
Just turned and chucked it. And 0.3 on the clock now. Ball tossed in, stolen by Marmelstein, end of half number 1. So Grove City, led by as much as 10 and 20-10, takes a 2-point lead into the locker room. 31-29, Grove City over the Westminster Titans. Stay tuned here after the break. Our Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living halftime show. Today at the half, we have special one-on-one interviews with Grove City head coach Steve Lammy and senior guard Mitch Marmelstein after the break on the PAC Sports Network.
For over 2 decades, the Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living organization, known as Triple, has been diligently working to deliver their mission serving people with disabilities in Washington, Fayette, and Greene counties. Accomplishing their mission and goals, affirming liberty and justice for all people with disabilities, takes an organization of persons dedicated to delivering consumer-focused services to the area. The facility expansion into the YWCA building, located on West Maiden Street in Washington, brings a heightened energy for Triple. Having outgrown the current Triple facility, the renovation of the historic YWCA building provides Triple with the opportunity to expand their services to the local residents for public use, while restoring a treasured local landmark building. While preserving the historic interior design integrity of the YWCA building, the importance of this expansion will truly have an impact on the services that Triple can provide to not only their members, but to the community as well. The expanded facility will feature an internet cafe providing free online access, a rehabilitation gymnasium providing increased exercise facilities and sports offerings, a wellness center, auditorium, and staging area for the special events use within the community, meetings and multi-purpose rooms, in addition to expanded administrative offices. Triple has limited sources of financing generally only available for programs and not for capital improvements. Consequently, Triple needs funding dedicated to the rehabilitation of the YWCA and needs your help. We enter into this new and expanded phase of service offerings with a strong commitment to aggressively continue our mission. We thank our local donors and ask for you to consider joining with us in our quest to meet and exceed the demands for the important services provided by Triple. Donations can be made to Triple at this address. For further information on ways you can help, please visit our website, triple.com, or call 724-223-5115.
On the halftime show on the PAC Sports Network, brought to you by Triple, Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living, we talk with Grove City head coach Steve Lammy. Coach, the Westminster Titans come to town tonight. Always a great rivalry in the PAC. Tell us a little bit of how rich in tradition and history this rivalry is with Westminster.
You know, and it goes back well beyond my time here and beyond the time where they entered our league just a few years ago. And I think it goes back 60, 70 years, but it's always been a great rivalry for us in the past because they were a scholarship team. They were NAIA and Division II for a while. And that always got us riled up because we were non-scholarship Division III. So it was always like playing the all-volunteer Army versus the Hessians. But of course now we're both Division III. So, but this just the proximity of our schools, and also I think we share a lot of heritage together. So, and we recruit the same type of kids. So that's why it's been a rivalry for so long, and not only in basketball, but for our other sports as well.
You have some new guys that have transferred in this season. One of which, Caleb Knudsen, a guy from Eastern University on the other side of the state near Philadelphia, a guy who's been a big rebounder for the team. What does he add to the team, and how was it that you were able to bring him to Grove City?
Well, we had recruited him out of high school, and one of the reasons is I'm from that area originally. And so my contacts in the area told us about him, and then he reached out to us. Eventually went to Eastern, but I think he just wanted a change of scenery. And he's been really good for us. Excellent rebounder and defender. And now we're just trying to get him to to get more confidence and to take the initiative on the offensive side of the floor too.
And Tyler McGrath, another guy from Eastern,
right.
a 6'6" player. As far as size, obviously, you have to have, or you have to like having another 6'6" body in the lineup.
Yes.
But how was it that Grove City was able to find him? Was it the same kind of scenario as
Same
Knudsen?
thing, and he's also from the eastern side of the state, and they're good friends, and so they transferred together. And Caleb, Tyler was penciled in as a starter and got injured the first, I want to say, 5 minutes of our first scrimmage. And so he's been out for 6 weeks and just started to play about a week ago. And he's going to start tonight. But he brings that athleticism. He's tall, he's lean, he rebounds the ball well. And he's just going to add to hopefully our good defense.
You mentioned Mitch Marmelstein, obviously one of the senior leaders and a guy who surpassed the 1,000-point mark in the very first game of the season. How proud are you of what Mitch has done on the court and also the type of person that he has become?
I can't speak too highly of Mitch. And I think it's hard for youngsters, I'm talking about 19, 20, 21-year-olds, to be good leaders. I don't think you are born a leader. You have to develop that. And over my years, I've had some good ones and some ones that were not so good, but it's just because they maybe didn't have the maturity or the experience. It was never a lack of effort. But with Mitch, he could be he is one of the best leaders that I've ever had, on the floor and off the floor. And he's our hardest worker. And yet he's also our best player. He's our hardest worker, and he leads us in charges. He leads us in rebound. Well, he's our second leading rebounder. Leads us in assists. And he's done that for his whole career. And so when our players, our young players, look at him and he demands something of them, they can't, they look at him and say, well, all right, he's doing it, so I better do it. So it's always leading by example. And there are a lot of things that he does off the floor that I don't even know about, where he leads. And I would call him maybe a shepherd. He's shepherding those younger players along. And I think one of the best compliments that he has received is not even from me, it's from our alums who come back to see us play. And they expect a certain standard, and they see in him that standard. And they've said this ever since he was a freshman. He's a special player and a special person.
With the 5-6 overall start of the season in January, the new year just getting underway more or less. Looking forward, what do you expect from your team, and what does the team need to do to challenge for the PAC title?
We need to shore up our defense. Again, it's been up and down, and that's been our calling card. We've always been a great defensive team, one of the best in the league year after year. And right now, we're showing glimpses of that, but at other times, it's been porous. On the game against Geneva on Saturday, it was really good the first half, and then fell apart as the game went on. And we just can't have those breakdowns. Offensively, it's getting maybe more people involved in the offense, and certainly getting the ball to Mitch. It's getting the ball to Brian Giesler. It's getting the ball to Caleb Knudsen, JT Schwartz, and they're going to have to lift that boat, and they have. I mean, they've taken the responsibility of the scoring, but when they do that, it opens up things for our younger players, because they may be double teamed, they may be on a drive that they're helping out, and that allows our more inexperienced players to get easy looks at the basket. So that's what we're trying to do.
That's Steve Lammy, head coach of the Grove City Wolverines. Coach, thanks for your time, and good luck to you and the team this season.
Thanks.
Coming up after the break, you'll hear from and you'll see Mitch Marmelstein on the PAC Sports Network.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact Time Ad Productions. Time Ad Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
Welcome back at the half on the PAC Sports Network. We talk now with Grove City senior Mitch Marmelstein. Mitch, you surpassed the 1,000 point mark in the season opener against Franciscan University. Take us back to that game and what that moment was like when you reached the 1,000 point mark.
You know, it was a really humbling experience. It was especially humbling because my dad was able to make it out to the game, and he flew out just for that game, and that was really special to me. He talked to me before the game. He's like, I don't care if you score that 18 points, but I hope you do. And I was able to get it, and it was very special for me and him.
Well, you mentioned your dad flew out to the game. You hail from California. I have to ask you, initially coming here to Grove City, what was it about Grove City College that made you go from California here to Western Pennsylvania?
Well, it really starts my junior year of high school, and just my dream to play college basketball, and that kind of dream stopped when I got hurt my junior year, missed that whole recruiting season, which was so important for me. But kind of the hopes of playing college basketball was far off a little bit. And senior year, just worked my butt off to get to the point where I was able to play again. And it didn't really seem like anybody was really looking, but Grove City was always there, and Coach Lammy was always sending me letters in my ear, talking to me, and he just really sold me and really brought me here to Grove City.
Considering some of that adversity that you had dealt with as far as injuries in high school that junior year, you have an opportunity to finish in the top 5 in scoring here at Grove City. Considering that adversity, what does it mean to you to know that you have a chance to rank highly in the Grove City record book?
Well, yeah, I'm humbled to be considered in that top 5 of the greats, of the alumni of Grove City basketball, and just it's been a journey. It's been a long journey, but there's been so many people that helped me along the way, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my teammates and my dad and my family just for helping me out and encouraging me through that process. And so I'm very excited to be a part of that group.
You've been a fixture in the Grove City lineup since your freshman season. How do you feel you have progressed and grown as a player and as a person during your time here at Grove City?
You know, I coming here, I've always been a leader by example. I guess I've always tried to play Grove City basketball the way it's supposed to be played. But as a player playing throughout these 4 years, I've really had to learn how to lead my team vocally. I've had to learn how to shepherd my team, like Coach Lammy said, shepherd my team towards the goals that we're trying to achieve. And so really it's been placing my eyes outside of myself and putting on my team, and that's been the biggest change playing here for the last 4 years.
When you were the newcomer on this team, Brett Mattson was the senior leader and the 1,000-point scorer. Is there any pages from his book that you have taken on now as you're a senior yourself?
You know, I've always looked up to Brett, and I think he's taught me so many things just as a leader himself. He's taught me to be that vocal leader. He's taught me to score when you need to score as a senior leader. I've just looked at him as a great example on and off the court of just how I'm supposed to be as a senior. So
we talked with Coach Lammy a little bit ago, and he mentioned that it's been a bit up and down defensively in particular, which has been the staple for Grove City over the years. Yeah. What's the chemistry been like so far this season?
The chemistry off the court is great. We all love each other. On the court, we still got a lot of work to do just because we have that whole mix of new players, new freshmen, the transfers coming in. And so we still got some work to do. We still don't all know the culture that Coach Lammy is trying to get us to buy into, and so we got to take that upon ourselves, and it's my job to get everybody on the same page defensively, especially.
That's senior leader of the Grove City Wolverines, Mitch Marmelstein. Mitch, thanks for your time. Good luck this year.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We'll have the second half coming up on the PAC Sports Network.
I'm proud to be a president because I've been taught to be a leader, not just through what I say, but through what I do. Hi, I'm Zach, and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm a sophomore. I really like W&J and decided to come here because they offered me a great balance between academics and athletics, and both are very important to me, and that's something that's tough to find.
I know W&J is going to give me a great foundation.
W&J has given me a start, and with that start, I can go anywhere.
31-29 out of intermission. Grove City with the lead, and we'll begin with the basketball. And the Wolverines out-rebounded 9-2 offensively by Westminster, but owning the better shooting, 43% to 37% for Westminster. So slight edges on each side, and that's why you have a slight lead for Grove City.
Yeah, pretty evenly matched game so far from what we've seen. Not a lot of big drastic numbers other than maybe the rebound total, 23-14 in favor of Westminster. But other than that, pretty clean. Couple fouls here and there. Not that many rebounds. As soon as I say not a couple fouls, there is one right there. But, you know, not a lot of steals from either side. Not that many turnovers either.
Brandon Dominic with the foul, his second. Trying to make a hustle play there, but maybe trying to do a little too much on that particular occasion, as Marmelstein was the player who was fouled. He was the victim of that effort. But first foul in the second half. Some ball movement here from Grove City. Knudsen trying to create. Fade away. Shot falls off the rim. Rebound underneath by Charlie Wallander. Bounce past Deontay Scott. Scott steps around Mitch Marmelstein in the bucket. Nice move, and we're tied here. 31-all early in the second half.
Scott limited to 3 points in the first half. That's because he had two fouls, I should say, and was sat on the bench for quite some time. Fresh, really fresh, considering he sat for almost the entire second half of the first half.
Knudsen pass off the mark, intended for Huff. Scott with the steal. Bounce pass Wallander. Westminster with its first lead since it led 5-2 in the first half.
Great passing too there. Textbook 3-on-2. Scott in the middle surveying what's going on, and then just making that extra pass to make an easy bucket. 31-33 ball game.
Knudsen, top of the key around a screen. 15-footer, back iron no good. Rebound though, Huff. And a whistle. What do we have? A foul on Kyle Ritchie, I believe. I think that's the number that was put up, but Ritchie's not on the floor. We'll double check that.
It said 33.
Yeah, there's no 33 out there. Unless he calls, no, it's not on Knudsen, so, I mean, there's a 33 in Grove City.
Carswell, maybe? 32?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's nothing placed on the scoreboard, so we'll come back to that when we can. 3-point try by Marmelstein, no good. And Westminster, evidently no foul called, because there's still only one team foul listed on Westminster on our scoreboard here from the Grove City College Arena, so now we have a call here on Westminster this time around.
It's Cameron Paz guy.
And that's Paz guy's first foul and the second on the Titans.
Foul away from the ball.
33-31 Westminster. Early second half. Contact away from the ball again between Giesler and Carswell. Three-pointer Schwartz off the mark. Rebound Deontay Scott. Bit of a difference with Scott back in the game here for Westminster after the foul trouble in the first half. Carswell bumped by Giesler. Left side Dominic looking for Wallander right wing. Wallander dribbles into the paint, ball stripped free. I believe it was Giesler who poked it loose, and then McGrath with the takeaway. Marmelstein stops on the left side, low blocks out to Giesler. Right side Schwartz, he'll pull out. Wolverines coach Steve Lammy said offensively wanted to see good ball movement tonight. And we have seen that. Right now, the open shots aren't going down for Grove City here in the second half. Still without a point, and we're 3 minutes in. Carswell to Dominic. Beyond the perimeter, right of the elbow. Trying to go left on Schwartz. Bounce past Carswell, open for three. High rebound, tipped out by Schwartz into the arms of Mitch Marmelstein. You mentioned in the first half, Marmelstein hailing from San Juan Capistrano, California. I'd asked him how it came to be that he came all the way here to Grove City, and he said that he had an injury his junior year in high school as a three-pointer by Schwartz buried, and the Wolverines retake the lead. And after that injury, some schools that had been contacting him for the collegiate level had discontinued that, but Grove City Steve Lammy continued to pursue Mitch Marmelstein, and with constant conversations between Lammy and Marmelstein, Mitch bought in and his belief in the Grove City system as well, and so that's how he came to Grove City, Pennsylvania.
Now my question is, how in the world did Steve Lammy find him all the way out in California?
Now that is a good question. I did not ask Steve Lammy that, but I'll have to along the way. We'll see him again.
But the nice thing that what Steve Lammy, I'm assuming this is why Steve Lammy did it, is, you know, earlier this season Grove City played in a David Wells Classic, which is out in Claremont, California, which is near San Juan Capistrano. And Marmelstein being a senior, I'm sure that would have had part of the reasoning to do it so Marmelstein could go home and play in front of his hometown, in front of his family.
I'm sure there are some ties that are beyond our knowledge there, as retaking the lead, Westminster, after the Brandon Dominic layup. There's Schwartz again for three. Spins out. Rebound, Deontay Scott. He'll lead the transition game without the numbers. Behind the back dribble by Scott. Trying to do it all himself, and he will. The foul on Grove City. Deontay Scott.
My goodness, what a move. The big fella, he's got some handles too. A little behind the back, a little spin, a little and one.
Putting on a show, and the Westminster bench was on its feet. Scott a little gassed though after that play up the floor. I think a little bit of the breather here with players checking in and out after the foul is doing Scott some good. Scott motions over to Coach Soroki. He says, "I'm good." And the three-point play converted. Outstanding individual effort there. Westminster with a 4-point lead.
Westminster has really been needing Deontay Scott to perform well. I mean, he was kind of one of those, as soon as he stepped on the court, you know he's going to do well. The first game of the season against Kenyon, he was 9 for 9 from the floor and had 20 points. And then a little bit later in November, he had a career-high 22 off the bench against Heidelberg.
Tam rifles a pass in. And the ball bobbled away by Beckman. Dominic out of bounds, trying to go baseline, but on the baseline. Westminster's largest lead is right now at 4 points. Trailed much of the first half, had a 5-2 lead to the Titans, then a 9-0 run by Grove City. Had the Wolverines in front from the remainder of from that point on in the first half. Tam short on the shot. Rebound Wallander into traffic, but travels.
That's a good call by the official too. There's a lot of bodies going up and down around the floor, and Wallander saying he doesn't want to come out after injuring what looks to be his arm, but Wallander got tabletop by his own player.
Marmelstein gets a return pass after the inbounds looked at Tam. Marmelstein trying to body up. Shot might have been partially blocked there by Vrabel. Looked like he had a hand in there. Wallander out to Vrabel. Now Dominic, he'll reset. 4-point lead, Westminster. Grove City's only bucket in the second half, a three-pointer by JT Schwartz. And we're 6 minutes into the second half. Vrabel for three, straight on look.
This three-point shooting percentage as a team for Westminster is going to be crazy after Vrabel hits his 6 for 12 now on the season.
Westminster opening up a 41-34 lead. Timeout Grove City on the PAC Sports Network.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
It begins here on a beautiful campus in southwestern Pennsylvania. At Waynesburg University, students become leaders in education, in business, in government, and science. They learn to tackle real-world issues with innovation and purpose, and are prepared for these roles within a community that fosters spiritual growth. Waynesburg University, a tradition of faith since 1849.
An 11-3 start the second half for the Westminster Titans. Grove City ice cold from the field here to start the second half. And Westminster taking advantage of it as the Titans starting to heat up, especially from beyond the arc. Vrabel with the last 3-point hits. And Grove City after the timeout by Coach Steve Lammy. Working Marmelstein, wide open left wing. Off the mark, however. Put back, though, no good by the freshman, Andrew Beckman. A good offensive board, but one from point blank you have to convert. Dominic steps in, now it's Vrabel. Vrabel loses the ball off his knee and out of bounds. And the officials do correctly indicate Grove City ball.
And the thing that's kind of hard to believe about this Westminster lead, that it's not one dominating performance by anybody on the roster. You have Wallander with 7 points. Jared Vrabel has 7 points as well. Deontay Scott, he's tied for the team lead with 8 points, along with Jason Pilarski, who hasn't had a point yet this half.
And Pilarski draws a foul, or is charged with a foul. And Pilarski, he came out like a house of fire in that first half. 8 points. Reinserted into the game here by Coach Kevin Soroki. Marmelstein at the line, missing on the free throw. Marmelstein, an 81% free throw shooter, typically very good in this role, but you can tell from that release he wasn't quite comfortable with that particular shot.
It's another one of those things that's hard to believe, that Marmelstein, the way that he averages and the way that he scores all these points, that his career high came his freshman year with 27.
After the free throw make by Marmelstein gives him 12 on the night, 41-35 the score. Now Marmelstein showed very early in his career, as made evident by the statistic you just brought up, that he was going to be a force for Grove City. And he's grown into a special player for the Wolverines. After the turnover by Westminster, Grove City trying to close the gap. Looking for the right shot, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Left side, Tam. Underneath, there's the right shot. Joe Vermiglia left all alone.
That's what's kind of been this Grove City team, is just making backdoor cuts, cutting towards the basket and hoping that, you know, someone's open and there's an open look. And that's what's been successful for the Wolverines tonight.
They have been patient. Certainly were on that last possession. 4-point game. Oh, reach-in foul on Tam. Second foul on Tam. 13th foul on the Wolverines in the second half. 3 fouls as well for Westminster. We're at 12 minutes even in half number 2. Scoring has been spread out on both sides. Rob Longo touching on some of the individual scores a short time ago. Marmelstein right now with 12, Schwartz with 11 for Grove City. For Westminster, Pilarski still remains the team leader with 8. There's a steal by Caleb Knudsen. Knudsen, 2-on-2. Ball stripped free cleanly by Wallander. And it's still Grove City possession. Wallander trying to buy a call that the ball came off of Knudsen last and then rolled out of bounds. But it will be Grove City basketball. Marmelstein, quick bounce pass, inbounds to McGrath. Now Schwartz cutting. Schwartz, though, with Wallander in his face, swings it out to Marmelstein, short on the 3-ball. Out of bounds off of Westminster. Now this is an area where Grove City was outworked in the first half, was on the boards, trying to make up the difference in the second half. Knudsen dribbles into the paint. Foul on Cameron Posguy. Posguy's second foul, the 6'3" sophomore. Hails from Windham, Ohio, went to Windham High School. As Caleb Knudsen at the charity stripe.
Knudsen, kind of one of those guys where you have to take the good with the bad. He leads the team in rebounds with about 6.5 per game, but he also leads the team in turnovers as well. It's about 2.5 per game as well. Had his career high earlier this season, November 29th against Claremont Mud Scripps out in California, 15 points.
It's both free throws, does Knudsen. Oh, and undercut at midcourt was Wallander, and that looked dangerous. It was McGrath diving for a loose ball. McGrath obviously is the man who commits the foul there, but as for that type of hit, almost looked like, for those Pittsburgh Steelers fans in the area, the one that Le'Veon Bell took in the Cincinnati game, and you know the end result there. But Wallander up to his feet okay, and that's terrific news. Ashbaugh into the forecourt. Schwartz almost with another steal. Now hampering. There is Schwartz with a steal. So he does eventually force it. Ball stripped free of Schwartz, but regrouping Giesler from behind. Knudsen. One-on-one moves here with Carswell. Kicks it right. Giesler, 3. Giesler spins it home, and Grove City with a 1-point lead.
Can't leave Giesler open beyond the 3-point line. Then a turnover here by Westminster. Momentum starting to shift back towards Grove City, where it was for most of the first half.
Westminster had a 41-34 lead to begin the second half, but now an 8-0 run for the Wolverines, answering back. Well, it's the rivalry game, Westminster and Grove City. What did you clock, 15 miles apart between the two schools?
15 and a half.
The proximity helps breed the rivalry. 3, Giesler, this one spins out. Board to Cody Gander. And Steve Lammy had said that going back to even before he was a player at Grove City, the rivalry was born back then, and it kind of carried over. He said back when Westminster was NAIA and a scholarship team going up against Grove City as a Division III school, he said it was like the all-volunteer Army going up against the Hessians. But that obviously is no more, because they're both Division III here in the President's Athletic Conference. So Cody Gander, a pretty clear shove away from the basketball on Mitch Marmelstein, and their frustration getting the better part of Cody Gander.
Well, both guys, too, just trying to get position down low. A lot of pushing and shoving going back and forth, and oftentimes it's the guy who retaliates who gets the foul. You couldn't really see there who initiated it, but I'm sure both guys just banging back and forth down in the post trying to get position.
Bounce pass Schwartz to Giesler, 3. Giesler getting hot on a cold night. In Grove City, Pennsylvania, 45-41 Wolverines.
9 points, all off 3-point attempts. How about that pass from Schwartz, though? Cutting into the lane, flipping it behind the back of a defender to a wide-open Giesler in the corner. That pass was pretty.
How did Schwartz even see him? Steve Lammy also, his in an affectionate manner, has termed Schwartz as one of his ninjas out on the floor. It's like, now you see him, now you don't, and he makes plays where it leaves you scratching your head, and I think that was one of those moments ago. Westminster forcing the turnover. Carswell shot off the right side of the backboard, and the rebound to the Wolverines and Joe Vermiglia. Things getting a little frantic now for Westminster, perhaps feeling the fact that their former 41-34 lead has slipped away. Giesler, three. Giesler again.
My goodness. What a great play by Giesler. What great play from him tonight. Just so hoppy on the arc.
Westminster needs a timeout to try and slow this momentum. We'll pause. 48-41 Wolverines on the PAC Sports Network.
My name is Rick Dorman, and I work in higher education. Parents ask me which colleges they should consider for their children. I know they're looking for an advantage. Like merit scholarships, which could total $80,000, opportunity for student involvement, or even dedicated personal faculty. And as president of Westminster College, I can assure them that their child will gain that here. So if you want an advantage, consider Westminster.
Comprised of 10 private institutions and 2 affiliate members, the President's Athletic Conference remains unique in this era of high-pressure college athletics. As a charter member of NCAA Division III, PAC student athletes excel in 21 varsity sports as well as the classroom.
Academic and athletic excellence since 1955, the President's Athletic Conference.
Want to learn more? Visit us at www.pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
8:41 to play in the second half. Westminster began this half with an 11-3 run to take a 41-34 advantage. Grove City has responded 14-0 run that has been spearheaded by Brian Giesler. 12 points, 3 trays in the second half for Giesler, and 4 trays total. 3-point try, Posguy with an answer out of the timeout, just the way you want to respond out of a TO.
Posguy trying to match Giesler shot for shot. He's got 9 points with 3 trays as well. I didn't know this turned into a 3-point competition.
3-point contest all of a sudden. Mitch Marmelstein fakes the baseline move, and Vermiglia trying to sift his way. Now back to the quick passing game. Cutter, and a foul is headed to the basket was McGrath. Cody Gander, his 3rd foul. 6th team foul on the Titans, and here's a guy that Westminster needs to get back in the game. Deontay Scott, he's at the scores table, ready to check back in. During the early second half run by Westminster, it was Scott who led that charge. He has 8 points, with 5 of them coming during that 11-3 run for the Titans. And again, that was to begin the second half. Miss at the line, rebound Dominic. 48-44 Wolverines. Dominic off the side of the backboard, rebound Knudsen. Dominic back up the floor. Looked like he nicked himself up a little bit as he's jogging with a little bit of a hitch at his giddy up. But still playing hustling defense to his credit as Grove City with the ball movement. Head fake Marmelstein. In some trouble now in a double team. Travels.
Good pressure there by Westminster, realizing, Marmelstein with Shorts out of the game, who just re-enters. He's kind of the guy that makes everything go, the spark plug, if you will, to steal one of your terms, Randy. But he's just that kind of player, and you got to pressure him and have him force mistakes in order to get the ball back and limit his chances.
Around his screen, Dominic. Marmelstein comes out with a defense. Carswell, baseline. He's fouled on the way to the cylinder. And Vermiglia was on his right hip, and it's Vermiglia charged for the foul. His 3rd foul, 15th foul for the Wolverines.
So when you look at it, a couple of players for each side in foul trouble. Vermiglia with his 3rd. Now 5 team fouls for Grove City. On the other side for Westminster, 6 team fouls. And you have Cody Ganter, who has 3 fouls, and then Carswell has 3 fouls as well. Deontay Scott, he had a pair in the first half, but he's been on the bench for a lot of this half and has also been playing some clean basketball too.
Carswell on the score sheet now, surprising to have notched his first point of the night with 7:12 to go, but a big free throw make. Misses on the second, however. Rebound, McGrath hands the ball off to Marmelstein. Seven minutes to play. Schwartz cutting up and under as he's able to beat Carswell man on man. Schwartz with 13.
Schwartz making a case for player of the game.
And stay tuned to the post game. We'll hand out our Foster Law Office's player of the game. And now it could go either way. This game could go either way, but Grove City hanging on to a 5-point advantage at the moment. Vrabel finds Scott inside. There's the guy we said if Westminster needs some spark off the bench, and it's Deontay Scott who brings it. Scott with 10.
First Westminster player to reach double figures.
3-point deficit for the Titans. Marmelstein, 2-point jumper, baseline. Hits the bucket, and we have a foul as well. Count the bucket. Let's see, foul on Carswell.
It was away from the bucket. What it looked like was somebody got in there. It looked like Jonathan Grimm came in and got a little bit of a shove from Carswell as the bucket was going in.
Now, you don't see this scenario very often. But Marmelstein hits the shot, and now 1-1 for Grove City's Jonathan Grimm. Misses, however. Scott with the rebound. Nearing the 6-minute mark. 5-point lead for the Wolverines. Behind the back dribble, Dominic. Schwartz tight to him. Carswell able to get a step on McGrath. Jumper. No good. Rebound. Schwartz. Schwartz almost, well, he was rolled up on by Scott. No foul. Incidental contact, I guess you could say. Dominic brings out the Dion Schwartz. McGrath. Pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound Carswell. Westminster. Good night on the boards. Scott able to duck under a man. Beautiful move by Deontay Scott.
Wow, over 2 people, really. I mean, spun out of one, turned around, gave a little head fake to the second one. Great play from Deontay Scott tonight as well.
And tight quarters, and then had the touch ball poked free by Dominic. Carswell with it. Carswell has it stripped loose by Schwartz, then thrown down to the ground by Carswell, and tempers flaring now between the two sides. Well, we mentioned this is a rivalry game. Welcome to the rivalry.
Giesler there needs a little bit of calming down.
Schwartz charged with the initial foul. There was some contact that followed. And Schwartz looks over at the Grove City bench, taps himself on the chest saying, I know that I need to calm myself down. Now physical play. Taking over here with 5:04 to go. 52-49 Grove City. Carswell at the charity stripe. Was 1 for 2 on his last trip. Eyes the bucket, deep breath, and misses.
Carswell, 74% from the line this season. He has to be more concerned right now about playing defense, though, with those 4 personal fouls.
And Carswell, as you said, Rob, has to be very careful.
It's also interesting that he's struggling from the free throw line tonight, but of course, as soon as I said that, he makes one. But, you know, 50% from the line now, 2 for 4. Uncharacteristic. I mentioned that 74% from the line this season. Last year, he was 5th in the conference in free throw percentage with about 84% conversion rate.
But by going 1 for 2 on that trip, he does cut it to a 2-point game. 52-50 is Carswell checks out. Kevin Soroki chatting with him at the moment, trying to maybe ease his temper after the last contact we saw between he and JT Schwartz. Missed by Grove City. Now here's Deontay Scott behind the back dribble. Pass ahead to Wallander. Offensive foul on Wallander. Giesler getting back to draw the charge.
Talk about a back and forth game. A miss on one end, drawing a charge on the other end. This game has everything. Close game, 3-point shootout in the middle. We got everything.
PAC basketball at its finest right now. We had one that went down to the wire in a rivalry contest between Waynesburg and W&J on Saturday. Maybe another one here. Giesler, top of the key, misses on the wide open tray, and ball out of bounds off of Huff. Giesler, as we've spoken of, has caught fire in this second half with 12 points and 12 points total, 9 in the second half alone, all on three-pointers, but missing on that wide open attempt. So a chance to either tie or take the lead for Westminster. Scott, fadeaway. Rebound Schwartz. Marmelstein walks the ball into the forecourt. Marmelstein fouled by Posguy.
Posguy now has 3.
Ninth team foul on Westminster. So 1-1 for Marmelstein.
And not the guy you want to send to the line in Mitch Marmelstein.
Yeah, pure shooter. Talked earlier, an 81% free throw shooter, but we'll have to wait for those free throws. Timeouts here from Grove City. We'll be back on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
We'll have 1-1 for Mitch Marmelstein when we resume action here in a moment. 52-50, Grove City, in what has been a fun one, and this is just what we were expecting. The classic rivalry game between and Westminster. Marmelstein hits on the front end. He'll earn a second shot. Marmelstein with 15 points tonight.
Just another day for Mitch Marmelstein hitting that average.
Another day at work. Another day at the office. Mitch Marmelstein. And now over his average, 16 points. 4-point lead for Grove City. Big free throws there. Dominic. He'll take the three. Brandon Dominic. 1-point game.
Huge, especially only being that's his 5th point of the game. Now only 2 field goals, both coming in the second half. Huge.
Schwartz for the answer. Back iron, tall board, tapped out. Schwartz underneath, back out to Giesler. Right side, Knudsen fakes a pass right, will dribble in. Knudsen, shot blocked out of there by Vrabel. Ball still with Grove City, however. 22 on the shot clock.
A lot of time on the shot clock, no need to rush.
Left side, Knudsen. Tries to drive in. Finds McGrath. McGrath takes a dribble, takes the jumper, knocks it down. 3-point lead.
It was a good job, like I said, from Grove City. Didn't have to rush anything. Still had plenty of time on the shot clock after getting their offensive rebound. And eat up a little bit of clock here with 2.5 to play.
That was McGrath's first make of the night. He has 2 points. Deontay Scott fouled all the way up after the offensive rebound.
It was on McGrath, his second. Now both teams in the bonus.
Scott with a dozen. And that ball takes a tour of the rim and falls through the netting. Scott, who averages 14 points per game, and a big body with 7.5 rebounds per game, out of Youngstown, Ohio, and East High School. 56-54. Scott 1 for 2 on that trip. Now Westminster here late in the game, seems like every time they've been at the line, it's 1 for 2. Knudsen, nice drive, baseline. Foul on the pass toward Vrabel. Giesler was guarding him. And Giesler with the foul. That's his third. And now to the line come the Titans. Well, here on a front end, or what could be the front end of a 1-and-1. See if he'll earn a back end attempt. He will. These free throws important in the Titans have struggled a bit down the stretch here at free throw shooting, but timeouts with 2:05 to play. We'll be right back on the PAC Sports Network.
So who do you think you are? Walk through these gates and you'll find out. It'll take, 4 years. 4 years of rigorous academics, of grand tradition, citizenship, of making friends for life, and let's not forget, having fun. While you're doing all this, we have a job too, to ensure your success. And make no mistake, we're good at it. Welcome to Bethany, a small college of national distinction.
Fully co-ed, Chatham University offers over 40 majors in the health sciences, sustainability, business, and the arts and sciences. Qualified undergraduates can also be admitted into our integrated undergraduate and graduate programs in physical and occupational therapy, physician assistant studies, and more. Live on our historic Shadyside campus or our Eden Hall campus, the first in the world built for the study of sustainability. Strong academics, Division III men's and women's sports, one-of-a-kind campus locations. Chatham.edu.
2:05 remaining on the PAC Sports Network. Men's basketball. Grove City up by 3. Jarrett Vrabel at the line for his second shot after earning a second on a 1-and-1. And some last words from Kevin Soroki to the Westminster Titans before the pending free throw. Grove City and their home white uniforms, the Wolverines ready to fight for the rebound here. What a game we had. And as you said, Rob Longo, we've seen a little bit of everything in this contest. Good three-point shooting, a little bit of physical play. It's been a fun one. It's a 2-point game. Vrabel with 9. Giesler, bounce pass, Marmelstein. In traffic, missing, and a foul upon the rebound. And that's on McGrath. So back to the line come the Titans. 1:49 to go.
So now 3 people really in foul trouble for Grove City. You know, at this point, it could matter if we do head to overtime here in an extra period, but we have Vermillion with 3, McGrath with 3, and Giesler with 3 as well.
Free throw good. Cameron Posguy, 10 points. And with 9 team fouls on each side, everything will be 2 shots at the stripe from this point forward. An opportunity to tie the game right here. And the miss. Rebound, volleyball game, eventually corralled by Brian Giesler. So Grove City with the lead and the basketball. Westminster, allowing a backdoor cutter in Schwartz. Now it's Knudsen for 3. Off the front of the rim, fighting for the rebound. Posguy gets to it. Scott. And a timeout, Westminster. 1:21 remaining, 1-point game. We'll be back on the PAC Sports Network.
Whether you're a traditional college-bound student, busy adult, or an advanced degree seeker, Geneva College offers degree programs tailored to your professional goals and personal commitments. Online or on campus, you'll enjoy personalized attention and a supportive Christian community of inspiring scholarship. Complete your degree in business, engineering, education, counseling, or one of 50 other programs. Geneva College. Step forward, leap ahead. Head to geneva.edu to get started.
Faith and freedom are far-reaching matters for us. The freedom to pursue a calling in life and the faith that it will make a big difference. The freedom to use the value of an education to pay it forward and a Christian faith to make it count. At Grove City College, faith and freedom create opportunities. And that's why faith and freedom matter.
One-point ball game on the PAC Sports Network tonight. And now might be as good a time as any to remind you that you can purchase a DVD keepsake copy of today's game. Email the PAC Sports Network at info@pacstream.net. Of today's broadcasts are just $25. And we don't know how this one's going to end up, but it could be one for good memory and record keeping. 1:21 to go. Inbounds pass to Vrabel. Hands it off to Dominic. He'll circle out and reset the offense. Deontay Scott, who's been huge tonight with 12, or excuse me, make that 13 points this evening for Deontay Scott. Over to Dominic. Dominic, the transfer from Division II Gannon University. Passes right, pause guy, three-pointer up, three-pointer through. 60-58 Westminster.
Ice in the veins of Cameron Posguy tonight. Now 4 3-pointers. That one with the shot clock winding down as well for the lead.
13 points for Posguy. Now the Wolverines behind by 2. Cycling the basketball, Knudsen underneath, pass batted out of bounds by Posguy. 17 on the shot clock. Wolverines, Caleb Knudsen will check out. Tam in the game right now for the Wolverines. Schwartz to McGrath. McGrath draws the foul on Deontay Scott.
They called on Jarrett Vrabel, so that's actually a break for Scott, who had 2 fouls, would have been his third. Instead, it gets charged to Vrabel. That's his first.
My apologies, not Scott, but Vrabel instead. And that is indeed a break. McGrath, nothing but net on the first. An opportunity to tie. 3 points for McGrath this evening. Six player, Tyler McGrath ties it. He is a transfer from Eastern University. He along with Caleb Knudsen. And we're even, 60-60. Timeout Westminster. We'll be right back on the PAC Sports Network.
Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living is raising funds for renovation and new construction of the YWCA building on West Maiden Street in Washington. Triple is a membership organization of people with disabilities and their families, friends, and neighbors. Triple's vision is to embrace the Y's historic, uplifting character while creating a state-of-the-art, fully accessible community center. We are accepting various types of donations for the rehabilitation of the Y. Visit ywca.triple.com or call 724-223-5115 for more information.
Faith and freedom are far-reaching matters for us. The freedom to pursue a calling in life and the faith that it will make a big difference. The freedom to use the value of an education to pay it forward and a Christian faith to make it count. At Grove City College, faith and freedom create opportunities. And that's why faith and freedom matter.
We're tied with 31.3 seconds to play. Westminster has the basketball. Rob Longo. We were just talking about this during the break. Where do you go with the basketball if you're Westminster?
Well, a disclaimer, I'm not any basketball guru by any means, but when you look at the numbers, Deontay Scott with 13 tonight. Paz Guy has a baker's dozen as well, so if you got to go inside, go to Scott. Outside, Paz Guy, I would say.
Those are the odds, especially based on the shooting tonight. Paz Guy has been very good, and Scott has been rather dominant on the inside as well. We're down to 14. Dominic. Westminster wants a hold for the last shot. Dominic in some trouble. Scott dribbles in. Scott, no good. Rebound Marmelstein, 3 seconds. A little bit of confusion on both sides as the buzzer sounds. Do we have any timeouts or anything of that sort? It does not appear so. So the rebound Marmelstein, and regulation ends. We're going to overtime. 60-60 on the PAC Sports Network. We're going to take a break. We'll be back.
For nearly 150 years, Teal College has provided a high-quality liberal arts education with excellent career preparation to students across the country and world. If you're looking for the right combination of academic challenge, personal involvement, and exceptional value, then it's time to discover the Teal difference. To learn more about a Teal College education, visit www.teal.edu and follow us at Teal College. Join the conversation using the hashtag Teal Difference.
So in the second half, Wolverines opened the half with a 2-point lead. Westminster jumped on the Wolverines with an 11-3 run. Grove City answered with a 14-0 run of their own to take a 48-41 lead. And then Westminster inched back, took a 60-58 lead late on a 3-pointer by Cameron Paz Guy. Then on a couple of free throws, Tyler McGee, a shot in the waning seconds by Deontay Scott was off the mark, and now we're in overtime. The tap won by the Westminster Titans, and Brandon Dominic with the basketball. What kind of finish will we have tonight? Lobbed in pass to Scott. Finds an open player left side. Wallander out to Dominic. Puts up the tray. No good. Paz Guy with the tip in. He does it all.
Well, just when you thought he was strictly a perimeter shooter, he tips that one in from underneath the basket. Great individual effort.
3, Tam, no good. Dominic and Schwartz. It's been a matchup all night long with two of the quickest players you'll find of the PAC. Dominic with the basketball again after we had a bit of a scramble there for a moment. Jump shot rattles out for Vrabel. 2-point lead remains for Westminster. Mitch Marmelstein leads the offense, passing it off. Now the quick passing game we've seen much of the night. JT Schwartz, strong take as he knifes through the lane. He takes a hard tumble at the end of that play, and he needs some help over to the bench area. Timeout Grove City after the bucket. Full timeout. We'll pause on the PAC Sports Network.
Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living is raising funds for renovation and new construction of the YWCA building on West Maiden Street in Washington. Triple is a membership organization of people with disabilities and their families, friends, and neighbors. Triple's vision is to embrace the Y's historic, uplifting character while creating a state-of-the-art, fully accessible community center. We are accepting various types of donations for the rehabilitation of the Y. Visit ywca.triple.com or call 724-223-5115 for more information.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
62 all in overtime. The Westminster Grove City rivalry. It's another chapter in this book, and a very entertaining one between these two schools and this rivalry. A rivalry that began in the early 1900s. Dominic, ball last touched off the fingertips of J.T. Schwartz. Tried to pull back at the last moment, but could not. Westminster leads the all-time series, 79 wins, 54 losses. Pazgai, he's on fire. Pazgai re-gives the Westminster Titans the advantage. Pazgai with 18 points tonight. Marmelstein finds Schwartz cutting backdoor. Beautiful pass and finish. J.T. Schwartz with 17. Pazgai, right of the elbow with Marmelstein at his face. Ball to Scott. He calls out Dominic. 1 point lead for the Titans. Marmelstein pokes the ball free and then off of Dominic. Big turnover.
Great pressure there by Marmelstein to force that turnover. Either way, it would have been either the ball rolling out of bounds or close to a 5-second count there. Tremendous pressure by Grove City, especially real close to that timeline, too.
Kevin Soroki in the ear of our nearest official. Our officials tonight, Craig Griffith, Mark Klanick, and Ricky Post. As it's a 1-point game in the extra session. Trying to get the ball to Marmelstein, but Pazgai is charged. That's his 4th, so be careful of that, or be mindful of that. Cameron Pazgai with a team-high 18 points for the Westminster Titans in foul trouble here in the extra session.
Especially considering the night he's had on offense, too, with those 18 points. Now a season high for Pazgai, but prior to that he had 12 points. That was his season high.
Marmelstein missing on the front shot.
He knew it too. As soon as he released it, he kind of leaned over the line saying, a little bit more knee into that one. It is towards the end of the game. It's in overtime. Got to get a little bit more bend in the knee. Everybody's tired.
Got to dig deep now in the extra period. Second free throw good. We're tied 65 all. Marmelstein with 17. And Marmelstein with only 1 foul, if you're interested from that angle. Pazgai trying to split defenders. No bucket, but a foul. And that's on Tyler McGrath, his 4th.
We talked about it off camera before we went on, Randy, about how last year's game was phenomenal between Teal and St. Vincent, where St. Vincent lost a game, and I think it was quadruple overtime because Teal and Teal had to finish the game with 4 players. You know, at the rate this game is going, we might be in the same boat, knock on wood.
Cameron Posguy sinks the first free throw. $19 points now for Posguy. And it'll stay at 19. 1-point game favoring Westminster. .90 seconds remaining. Knudsen crosses over on Vrabel, left-handed take. Knudsen with 8 points. Grove City grabs the lead. Ball tapped away by J.T. Schwartz, his specialty, and into the arms of Brian Giesler. Wolverines with the lead and the basketball under a minute to play. And Grove City calls a timeout. We'll join them on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
Comprised of 10 private institutions and 2 affiliate members, the President's Athletic Conference remains unique in this era of high-pressure college athletics. As a charter member of NCAA Division III, PAC student-athletes excel in 21 varsity sports as well as the classroom.
Academic and athletic excellence since 1955, the President's Athletic Conference.
Want to learn more? Visit us at www.pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
So a 1-point lead for the Wolverines. And 52 seconds to play. Wolverines with the basketball. Westminster needs some tight defense right now. J.T. Schwartz with a spectacular effort tonight, 17 points. Mitch Marmelstein, 17 points. Brian Giesler with 12. Giesler was clutch during the 14-0 run during the second half by the Wolverines that gave them a 48-41 lead. Ball tapped out of bounds by Westminster. 10 on the shot clock now. Into Schwartz, circles around a screen from Giesler. Ball back to Giesler. While under good defense in his face. Marmelstein, deep three, straight on, back iron, rebound, Schwartz. It is fouled. Well, J.T. Schwartz, 5'8", gets one of the biggest rebounds you could possibly grab in this contest.
He needed all 5 feet and 8 inches. Now can put the pressure on Westminster here with in the double bonus, can hit both to make it a 3-point game.
The gymnasium grows silent. And then a roar from the Wolverines faithful. Schwartz with the free throw. 2-point game. After this free throw, regardless of its results, and it is good, it's still a 1-possession game. 30 seconds to play in overtime. Shot clock is off. Now, if you're looking for the 3 ball, it's Posguy, your top possibility. Scott trying to dribble in, loses the handle. Posguy recovers, 3 ball, no good. Vrabel with the board, out to Dominic, straight on 3. Game is tied, 69 all. What an effort. Ball came free. And then off the rebound, you really have to credit Vrabel there on the offensive glass. He gets the pass to a wide open Brandon Dominic, top of the key. It was a deep three, but it was a straight on look. And Dominic buries it with 7.7 to go in overtime. We're going to keep it here on the network for the time being as we're in for a thrilling last 7 seconds. However it goes down, Grove City will have the ball. Boy, Brandon Dominic, the product out of Newcastle High School, and he's just playing in his 4th game with the Westminster Titans tonight at second start. We touched on some of the transfers, and this is a time of year at the collegiate level where you see some transfers in between sessions, and we have a couple along the conference, one of which, and what a pickup in Brandon Dominic for the Westminster Titans, is he comes from Division II Gannon University. More so known for his ability in passing the basketball, a dynamic passer, but he can shoot it, as he just has shown everyone.
You know, poor Grove City coming off a lot of close losses the past couple of games. Saturday, a 68-65 loss against Geneva. JT Schwartz, he's the past couple games. A game high 18 on Saturday, 7-8 from the floor. Both teams shooting 49% from the floor on either side. So, you know, Grove City's just kind of running to one of those blocks where every team that's playing right now is playing just as well.
Our next broadcast on Saturday, Geneva hosting Chatham in women's basketball. Right now in overtime, tied 69 up. Grove City behind the back dribble. Schwartz, 3 seconds. Schwartz, Giesler, 3. Giesler wins it at the buzzer. In overtime at the Grove City College Arena, Brian Giesler for the final shot of the night. 15 points for Giesler. All of his connections from beyond the arc, and the three-point specialist with the game-winning splash. 72-69. Wolverines over the Westminster Titans. Stay tuned. We'll hand out our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game when we come back on the PAC Sports Network.
Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living is raising funds for renovation and new construction of the YWCA building on West Maiden Street in Washington. Triple is a membership organization of people with disabilities and their families, friends, and neighbors. Triple's vision is to embrace the Y's historic, uplifting character while creating a state-of-the-art, fully accessible community center. We are accepting various types of donations for the rehabilitation of the Y. Visit ywca.triple.com or call 724-223-5115 for more information.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
We've had some great finishes on the PAC Sports Network this season alone. And, well, in overtime, a game-tying three-pointer by Brandon Dominic with 7 seconds brought us to 69-69. And then out of a Grove City timeout, The Wolverines with the finisher at the buzzer. Brian Giesler, 15 points tonight. All of his connections from beyond the arc. Outstanding effort and shot. J.T. Schwartz, the team high score for the Wolverines tonight with 19. Mitch Marmelstein with 17. For the Westminster Titans, Cameron Posguy, 19 points. As he was a big part of what Westminster was able to do this evening, as well as Deontay Scott down low with 13 this evening. And, well, what a game, Rob Longo.
Oh my goodness. It takes a lot for me to be at a loss of words, but oh my goodness, we mentioned it. It had everything. You don't really know what was going to happen there either. Schwartz driving the lane and then the kick out, and I thought it might have been intended for Marblestein. I'm not entirely sure, but the way Giesler was shooting the ball tonight, and he's just a three-point threat all the time. I mean, oh my goodness, 5 3-pointers. What a night, and to top it off with the game winner. Amazing.
Well, as we always do in our post-game show, we hand out our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game, and it's Brian Giesler. Put simply, Brian Giesler with the game winner. And Giesler also, too, when you look back at the second half of this game, Grove City opened the half with a 2-point lead. Westminster went on a charge in an 11-3 run to take a 41-34 advantage, and then Grove City responded with a 14-0 run. And Brian Giesler was pivotal to that, knocking down 3 second-half three-pointers and doing the majority of the work on the 14-0 run. So that was important in the response by the Wolverines in the second half, and then, of course, the game-winning bucket. So, Brian Giesler, congratulations. You are our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game. So, 72-69, your overtime final tonight. Grove City beating Westminster in the rivalry game. Rivalry week on the PAC Sports Network. We had a terrific finish on Saturday between Waynesburg and W&J in both men and women's action. And we've had 2 good games here tonight. Also, Catherine Erbelding, who was our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game in our women's contest tonight. She did her Player of the Game interview with you, Rob Longo, which will be on the PAC Sports Network website, pacstream.net, under our Player of the Game tab. She left that interview, then went to go get stitches
right away
in her right elbow for a cut she suffered during the game earlier tonight. And then we saw her during overtime return to the gymnasium to watch the fantastic finish here in the men's game.
She walked in the room, I go, how's the arm? She goes, I got to go to the hospital and get stitches. I was like, okay, we'll make this quick. And oh my goodness, what a gamer.
Well, she is a gamer, and in the men's contest, what a game. 72-69 Grove City in overtime. That's a wrap here on Saturday, 1 p.m. tip-off, Geneva hosting Chatham in women's basketball. For our broadcast crew tonight, our cameraman Colby Boozer, our executive producer Buddy McKay, my partner Rob Longo, I'm Randy Gore. We hope you enjoyed this one. I know we did. 72-69 Wolverines over the Titans. We'll talk to you on Saturday on the PAC Sports Network.